On Sunday, September 22, 2024, a captain claimed to have spotted the Loch Ness Monster using his boat's sonar system. Shaun Sloggie, 30, was preparing his Spirit of Loch Ness yacht for sailing when a large object was spotted on the boat's underwater sensors. Its outline, detected nearly 100 meters below the surface of the Highland loch, looked remarkably like a plesiosaur, which many believe is the group of reptiles from which the legendary Loch Ness Monster originated. The footage has reignited speculation that Nessie, a creature believed to inhabit the vast waters near Inverness, might actually exist. Welcome to the Arifs documentary. In this video, we will go to Scotland. The Scots call lakes lochs, and when it comes to lochs, Scotland has over 31,000 known lakes, making it one of the countries with the most lakes in the world. These lakes vary in size, with Loch Ness being one of the most famous due to the legend of the Loch Ness Monster, Nessie. Nessie is a mysterious animal that is said to have originated from the time when dinosaurs lived, which now inhabits this 35-kilometer-long lake. Nessie is often depicted as a creature with a small head with a very long neck, while her body is represented like a seal with fins and has a long tail. Even the appearance of this ancient animal is not only felt by one or two people, but there are many people who testify that there is indeed an animal like that in a lake in Scotland. However, it has never been found despite 1,100 reported sightings of Nessie via the Loch Ness Centre in Drumnadrochit. Descriptions vary. Some say the creature resembles a salamander. Others say it is a whale or a seal. Interest and belief in Nessie has varied since it first came to public attention in 1933 and inspired the 2007 film The Water Horse, Legend of the Deep. But the question is, do these claims from the 1930s show a species of dinosaur that has eluded human eyes? Before the term Loch Ness Monster came to the fore, there were several folklore stories about famous water monsters in Scotland, including the Boobrie and the Kelpie. The Boobrie is a mythical shape-shifting creature that inhabits the lochs of the west coast of Scotland. It is usually a giant water bird resembling a cormorant or a great northern diving bird, but can also take the form of other mythological creatures such as the water bull. This generally malevolent creature usually preys on livestock transported by ship, but also has a taste for otters. In Scottish folklore, the Kelpie is also a dangerous shape-shifting water creature that can appear on land as a horse. The Kelpie appears to its victims as a grey or white horse, coaxes them to ride it, and then carries them to a watery grave. The Life of Saint Columba by Saint Adomnan contains an early account of a mysterious creature sighting in Loch Ness. The book records that in 565 AD, Saint Columba was on the banks of the river Ness when he heard about a man being attacked by a water beast while swimming. The man was reportedly dragged into the water by the creature, which has since been credited as the ancestor of the Loch Ness Monster legend. In the narrative, Saint Columba takes action to save the man by crossing himself and speaking words of command to the creature, asking it not to approach the man in danger. Surprisingly, the creature seems to understand and immediately returns to the lake, avoiding further confrontation. This story is considered one of the origins of the Loch Ness Monster legend. Although there is no clear physical description of the creature in the text, the incident provided the starting point for many later stories and sightings. St. Columba's story played a significant role in shaping the public's view of Loch Ness and the mysterious creatures that may inhabit its waters. Unfortunately, these stories were largely forgotten until the Loch Ness myth resurfaced around 1933, when a paved road was completed in the Loch Ness area. A piece by journalist Alex Campbell published in the Inverness Courier on May 2, 1933, played a major role in popularizing the legend of the Loch Ness Monster. The article focused on a sighting by Aldi Mackay and her husband, who claimed to have seen a large creature in Loch Ness on April 15, 1933. Campbell described the creature as a beast or whale-like fish that was seen rolling on the surface of the water. He wrote that the creature made the water bubble and made large waves, as if a large ship were passing by. In the article, Campbell noted that the creature disported itself, rolling and plunging for fully a minute, and acknowledged that there was something unusual about the sighting. He stated that the waves produced were large enough to have been caused by a passing steamer, and emphasized the creature's much larger size than an ordinary animal. The article is also notable for its use of the term monster, which first appeared in the context of Loch Ness. Although some sources suggest the term may have been coined by an editor of the Courier, Campbell directly linked the sighting to the idea of a monster in the loch. Campbell's article opened the door to many other sightings and attracted national and international media attention. It was the beginning of a broader cultural phenomenon surrounding Nessie, which continues to this day. Campbell also noted that Loch Ness has long been thought to be home to a terrifying creature, suggesting that belief in the Loch's monster predates Mackay's sighting. In 1933, after a couple reported sightings of Nessie, a hunter named Marmaduke Wetherell was assigned to search for the monster. During his search along the shores of Loch Ness, Wetherell found large footprints believed to belong to the mysterious creature. These footprints were later sent to the Natural History Museum in London for further examination. All of these stories were spread locally by word of mouth, without any visual evidence to support their existence. Until around 1934, a photograph called the surgeon's photograph was considered to have successfully captured the appearance of the mysterious creature. The surgeon's photograph is one of the most famous images purported to show the Loch Ness Monster, Nessie. The photograph was reportedly taken by Robert Kenneth Wilson, a London gynecologist, who claimed to have captured the image while observing Loch Ness. It was published in the Daily Mail on April 21, 1934, and quickly became synonymous with the legend of Nessie. The image depicts what appears to be a long neck and head emerging from the water, which many interpreted as evidence of a large creature inhabiting the loch. For decades, it was considered one of the strongest pieces of evidence supporting the existence of Nessie. Many people then associated it with the plesiosaur. The plesiosaur is a type of marine reptile that lived during the Jurassic period, about 200 to 145 million years ago. Plesiosaurs have a distinctive body with a long, slender neck, a small head, and a turtle-like body. It also had two pairs of legs, modified into paddles, allowing it to swim efficiently. Plesiosaurs could grow to be about 3 to 15 feet long, or about 1 to 4.5 meters, and could weigh up to 700 kilograms. Some species in the order Plesiosauria could grow even larger. Plesiosaurs were carnivorous creatures that lived in the ocean, eating fish and other marine animals. They were known to be efficient predators, able to swim at speeds of up to 40 kilometers per hour to hunt prey. Plesiosaur fossils have been found in various locations around the world, including England and Germany. These discoveries provide insight into marine life at that time. The name Plesiosaurus comes from the Greek, where plesios means near and sauros means lizard, referring to its lizard-like physical appearance. In popular culture, plesiosaurs are often associated with the legend of the Loch Ness Monster Nessie because of its physical appearance that closely resembles the description of the legendary monster. Loch Ness has an ideal setting for animals thought to be from the past. Loch Ness was formed during the last glacial period, around 10,000 years ago, by erosion by glaciers. The advancing glaciers created a deep depression, which then filled with water, creating a deep and vast lake. This process is common to many lakes in the Scottish Highlands, where glacial activity has shaped much of the landscape. Loch Ness has a maximum depth of around 240 meters, 790 feet, making it one of the deepest lakes in Scotland and the UK. Some sources give slightly different depths, but this is generally accepted. The bottom of Loch Ness is made up of old sedimentary rock, which has allowed the formation of a deep depression. This rock not only provides depth but also creates unique conditions for the ecosystem within the lake. Due to its significant depth and murky water conditions, the flora in Loch Ness is relatively sparse. This also results in the presence of abyssal fauna and an ideal ecosystem for the habitat of animals thought to be from the past which are rarely found. In 1962, an organization was founded with the aim of finding scientific evidence for the existence of the Loch Ness Monster, called the Loch Ness Investigation Bureau, LNIB. The LNIB was founded by David James Scott, Richard Fitter, Constance White, and Norman Collins. The LNIB organized a variety of activities, including surface observations of the loch using binoculars, cameras, and telescopes. Teams of volunteers were deployed to monitor the water in the hope of seeing the creature. They also conducted surveys to record sightings and gather information from the public. Despite much effort by the LNIB over a decade, the organization failed to find substantial evidence to support the existence of Nessie. In 1977, the LNIB was disbanded after finding no convincing evidence for or against the monster. Although it failed to find Nessie, the LNIB contributed to the popularity of the Loch Ness legend and drew public and scientific attention to the phenomenon. After the dissolution of the LNIB, interest in the Loch Ness Monster continued with other searches and research, including Operation Deep Scan in 1987, which involved the use of sonar to explore the bottom of the loch. Deep Scan operation, carried out in 1987, was one of the largest searches to find the Loch Ness Monster, Nessie. The operation involved 24 ships equipped with sonar to sweep the entire length of Loch Ness. Sonar technology is used to detect objects beneath the surface of the water by emitting sound waves and analyzing the reflections that return. During the operation, the ships searched the loch from various angles to ensure maximum coverage. The main goal of the search was to find physical evidence of Nessie by mapping the loch floor and identifying unusual objects. During the search, the team found several unexplained objects on 3 separate occasions. During the operation, sonar detected 3 large objects at depths ranging from 256 to 590 feet, 78 to 180 meters. Researchers stated that the sonar tracks were consistent with a creature larger than a shark but smaller than a whale. Despite the detection of anomalies, when the ships were sent back to the same location on the 2nd and 3rd days of the search, they were unable to find any additional traces or evidence of the objects. This led to speculation about what the sonar had actually detected. While there is no definitive proof of a monster, the discovery has led to speculation that the objects could be large pieces of debris or another unidentified creature. Over time, skepticism grew regarding the authenticity of the surgeon photograph. Critics argued that it could be a variety of things, including driftwood, a bird, or even an otter. Notably, an analysis conducted by Stuart Campbell in 1984 suggested that the object in the photograph was likely only a few feet long at most. In 1994, it was revealed that the photograph was part of a hoax orchestrated by Marmaduke Wetherill, who had previously attempted to deceive the public with fake footprints attributed to Nessie. Wetherill enlisted the help of his stepson Christian Sperling to create a model of a monster's neck attached to a toy submarine for the photograph. Wilson had agreed to present this image to the media under the guise that he had taken it himself. Despite being exposed as a hoax, the surgeon's photograph significantly influenced public perception of Loch Ness and contributed to ongoing interest in Nessie. It remains an important part of photographic history and serves as a reminder of how easily images can be manipulated and misinterpreted. While initially celebrated as proof of Nessie's existence, the surgeon's photograph has been debunked as a clever fabrication that nevertheless played a pivotal role in shaping the legend surrounding Loch Ness. In 2019, researchers from the University of Otago in New Zealand conducted a fascinating study of Loch Ness to investigate the existence of the Loch Ness Monster through DNA analysis. The scientists took more than 250 water samples from Loch Ness over 2 weeks in June 2018. They used a technique known as eDNA sampling, environmental DNA, which can detect traces of DNA from a variety of species in the lake. The analysis showed that there was no DNA from large creatures or prehistoric reptiles such as plesiosaurs, which are often associated with Nessie. There was also no DNA from large fish such as sturgeon or sharks, which have previously been suggested as possible sources of monster sightings. The study found that Loch Ness is rich in European eels. Eel DNA was detected in almost every sample taken, suggesting that eels could be one of the causes of Nessie sightings. Professor Neil Gemmell, who led the study, said that while there was no evidence of giant eels, the number of eels found was significant. The findings confirm that the legend of the Loch Ness Monster is most likely the result of a misunderstanding or a sighting of an eel that appears larger than it really is. Gemmell concluded that if Nessie really exists, she is very good at hiding. One of the most amazing and fascinating things about humans is our imagination. Indeed, imagination is one of the qualities that makes us human. Every invention that has led to our advanced civilization, such as airplanes, mobile phones, electric cars, all came from humans' imagination. At the same time, the human mind has also imagined all sorts of things that are not real. Dwarfs, fairies, mermaids, zombies, Dracula, werewolves, etc. Through stories passed down from generation to generation for hundreds or even thousands of years, these mythological creatures have become legends. They have fascinated us because they are fascinating, magical, and sometimes terrifying. But they all have one thing in common: they appeal to the imagination. But by using logic, experimentation, and research, scientists can explore the mysteries of the world and find answers. Here are 4 reasons why the Loch Ness Monster is a fictional creature. First, a large air-breathing animal would have to surface frequently. That would mean more people would have seen it. Second, many people have searched for Nessie, using scuba divers and sonar, but to no avail. A 2019 study of DNA samples collected from the lake showed no evidence of dinosaurs or large reptiles. Third, the waters of Loch Ness were only formed 10,000 years ago, since the end of Earth's last glacial period. But dinosaurs went extinct 65 million years ago, so prehistoric dinosaurs could not have lived in the lake. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, for the Loch Ness Monster to exist and survive through time, a population of these animals would have to reproduce. Single animals only live for their lifetimes and not for hundreds of years, as the legends say. So from this fairly long explanation, it concludes that Nessie has never been proven to exist factually. Despite the lack of strong evidence, this lake is still interesting to visit and of course still holds other mysteries that have not been revealed.